Hi everyone. Under organization structure, we talk about certain things of the organization structures, how organization is actually divided and organized in a specific way. Uh, in previous session, we talk about that organization, they can have a certain advantages of having this organization, uh, like a diagram like this formula organization chart. We can find out the split the functions and roles of the each and employee, their responsibilities, their relationship, communication channels, everything. It's like a, as I told you, it's like a family tree, like your grandparents and your parents and the other the siblings, your uncles, aunt, everyone we can say, and their children. It's like that. Then we can find out, okay, who's the senior and who is the junior, who is the like communication channels, the relationship, right? Everything. Because for new employees, especially, otherwise they don't have any idea. Huh? Because when you go into a family function, only they know this is your uncle, this is your aunt, this is your nephew, this is your niece, like that. Like the organization, always they are giving this position in organization like a chart. The new workers also they can identify. Okay, here this is your position, and you belong to this family, this department, and this belongs to another department. This person is from another, like that. You can understand your title, your authority, and your responsibility or supremacy. Everything you can find out. So today, I'm going to mainly focus about the departmental features of the organization chart, especially. We talk about different things like hierarchy, delegation, span of control, centralization, decentralization, all that stuff. And then first one is a chain of command. Chain of command means the organization like a route where the orders pass through from the top to the like a pass down with the hierarchy. The chain of command is a kind of a giving kind of a authority to pass down from the supremacy, you can see top to the bottom. So chain of command should be sometimes making decisions little bit like a delay, because long chain of command means take some time to make decisions because you have to pass the information from the higher up in higher levels. So messages get made lost or confused as they passed up and down in the chain. That's why long chain of command sometimes make confusion in the communication, and it will be problems will be happen. Therefore, best thing is actually delayering or reduce the chain of command, and changes might not be accepted lower the down the chain. So other one is a span of control. Span of control means how many subordinates are working. The definition you can see the people in the hierarchy who works under the control of a more senior worker. That's called the span of control. Subordinate, number of subordinates in the business, like how many people are there working under you. That's the span of control. So other one is a flat structure and the tall structure. Some structures you can see organization structures are there, like a small businessman. Under him, like a 5, 6 people are working. There is no hierarchy below this. So only this small business organization, flat structure you can see. Flat structure is a normally organization with a like a there are few layers in the hierarchy. That flat structures only have 2 layers in the hierarchy. This one, the chain of command is short, but the span of control is wide. So look at the features or advantages of the flat structure. Communication is better. You can identify, like if you have like this kind of small team, it's easy to communicate with them because chain of command is short, and the management costs are lower because there are few layers of the management, and the control may be friendly and less formal because there are more direct contact with between layers. Control become more friendly approach. However, the flat structure, you can see flat structure always become sometimes there is no chance of promotion. Why? The only promotion is the owner. Sometimes motivation level of the workers are very low as a result of that. You can see that's why some flat structures people are leaving some always, like because there is no career development in the flat structure. You always go to the position, always go to organization, you stay there forever. But look at the tall structure, there is a hierarchy, there's a corporate ladder. If someone joins in this fourth layer, he actually dreaming to go to next level. And this person dreaming to go to next level. And this person dreaming to go to next level. And he want to go to the manager director level, like that. So tall structure, you can see large, you can see long chain of command. Here short chain of command, here long chain of command. And here narrow span of control. Here wide span of control. Here narrow span of control. Here there are pros and cons. Here also Good side is actually the promotional opportunities for people. Like there are a lot of chances of promotional opportunities for the pupils, like in this organization structure, because there are certain corporate ladders to go, and so they know there's a career development clear path is there. Somehow the communication become a little bit slowed down. Why? Because he talked with only this second layer. The second layer people talk with only third layer people. Third layer people talk with the fourth layer. So first person never talk with the final layer. Therefore, it takes some time to make decisions and communication. Sometimes confusions can be happen. If these people miscommunicate the message to the bottom, then they will do something else like that. Some problems are there. Communication will be poor. That's the first disadvantage, and management cost will be higher because yes, you have to pay different salary scale for different people, so increase the management cost. Here, nothing like that. Same salary scale. Right. Other one is there may be clear route for promotion that might help to motivate staff, and also control tends to be more formal and less friendly because of all the layers in the hierarchy. These are the things. So other one is the delegation. You can see the delegation in some countries, situations, the manager may hand a more complex task to a subordinate. They talk about that. Also, delegation function. When you're handing over some task or your junior, this is called the delegation. The manager will always have a responsibility for the overall task. However, the time it can be actually taken saved because of that, because delegation will always have a good side and bad side both. Every topic there's a good and bad. So in business, as a business student, you must identify what is the concept and what is the good and bad of this situation. So delegation, what is the good side? Delegation is good for the worker because he gets some experience by doing a responsibility. By getting some new responsibility, he will be motivated and he gets some training for himself. But disadvantage will be sometimes the organization cannot, sometimes the person will be not suitable enough, not competitive enough to handle or delegate that function. Another thing you can see, the delegation sometimes it reduce the workload of the senior management, and they can focus on the main activities in the business. But sometimes delegation, sometimes they're using in order to reduce their stress, and they want to exploit the workers. They want to give their always burden to the workers. We call like passing the ball, just ball passing. So delegation is kind of a thing like that. So sometimes it always managers are doing this thing because that's called the manager. They getting things done by other people, management, for to Mary Park a lot. So however it can be time saved, subordinate come to the task. Sometimes delegation can motivate workers because they feel they thought they were being suited, trusted by them to carry out the difficult work. However, employees thinking there's extra work, like they hesitate sometimes because there's no additional payment, right? So no reward at least, no thank you at least. They may be dissatisfied, and the extent to which delegation take place is often depending on whether decisions taken centralized or decentralized, right? Okay, now we are moving to other concept, decentralization and the decentralization. In the centralization concept, we talk about this is kind of like a military type setup, centralized system, everything decisions taken by one central unit, centralized system. Where decentralization means you are delegate the functions to other departments, like all the power they are distributed to among others. Centralization has advantages and disadvantages. Look at this. Sometimes this can become for like a 9 marker. Centralized systems, managers has complete control over resources, and managers are trained and experienced in decision making in centralized. Now, it prevents part of the business like acting independently. So because everything actually done monitored by the central authority, coordination and control is easier. Like that's why army, navy, police, air force setup, military setups, you can see in centralized structure is coming from the commanding officer always in the top of the hierarchy. So there's a huge like a uniformity, standardization, and discipline we can see in the centralized structures. A centralized system is important in order to, in case of a conflict, in case of a emergency, to make quick decisions like in a war. So we need to have centralized systems. We can't ask from everyone. So central decision making authority or power must be there. The other one is disadvantage side of centralization. You can see employees may be demotivated without any authority, and it's like a, because they are only just a part of the organization, they can't make any decisions. Always they have to listen to their seniors. and it brings less creativity and few ideas because the ideas never they cannot go and talk, they can't implement because they have to only just follow the system given by their superiors. You can't bypass the system, no buy orders, no bypassing, just follow the system. That's what you have to do. And procedures maybe need to be make like decision making easier. Procedures maybe need to make decisions making easy, and also people at the top may out of touch with the needs of the customers and served by more local employees. Sometimes they don't know what to do with the ground grassroots level of customers. They might be very unhappy because top level people they don't know anything about what's going on. They're just taking inappropriate decisions sometimes, inflexible, impractical decisions. So as a result, you can see that sometimes the organization can fail as a result of that if you are not taking any views and ideas from the junior level. On the other hand, the opposite of the centralization is a decentralized structure. Decentralized structure advantages mean the workers have autonomy, freedom to make their decisions and they're motivated. It speeds up the decision making and it takes pressure off from senior managers by reducing their workload, and workers get the opportunity to be creative and share their idea. It provides more promotion opportunities for the different managerial levels. Moreover, these are the advantages. They will be motivated and decision making becomes speed up. Pressure will take off from the senior management. So workers' creativity and idea they can share between others and provide more promotion opportunities. So these are the main advantages. So that you can see by looking at this, everyone will see centralized, no, decentralized is ideal. Decentralized will be the best. Everyone can understand. But normally it's not true because centralized also we need sometimes. Like I said earlier, in case of emergency, you can't decentralize. No? You have to have a central decision making source must be there. It should be come quickly without asking from others because it will delay the decision means huge damage can be happen. So you might be able to quickly make the decision in that kind of an emergency. So decentralization is kind of a thing like that. Workers' autonomy are using at maximum level. However, there are disadvantages also. You can see senior managers may lose the control. So because they are giving their power to subordinates, and cost may be higher because of the standardization and more variability in decision making process. Some employees may not have the ability to make decisions, and also some employees may not welcome the extra responsibility. These things can be happen. All right. So these are the things actually most important. What is centralization? What is decentralization? And finally, you can see there are certain organization charts. There are charts and growth. You can see what is this. This is called the right, my dear students, the metric structure. Metric structure. There are flat structure you learn today, floor, tall structure you taught today, right? And then centralized, decentralized structure you taught today. So you can see like here we go, the latest modern technology, the modern type of organization chart is the metric structure. What is metric structure? So this is a situation where like anyone can work in anywhere. Like situation you have more than one managers to responsible. So this situation, there are one worker has more than one superiors to follow, like more than one boss for one worker. So like look at an example, ideal organization like a construction company or a project management company or a event management company or a software development company like that. So many organizations are using this structure because everyone actually easy to move from different departments, multi-talented people. Imagine this project manager X is a all-rounder project manager. So he can work in any department as he wish, production, marketing, HR, accounting. Project manager Y, imagine he's a software engineer. Sometimes he might do projects in production, marketing, HR, accounting related. So people can move on different areas, different departments. This is called the metric structure. So look at these advantages. So most businesses, because they are start small, even entrepreneurial structure, this means that decisions are made centrally by the owner or the key workers. As business grow, they may introduce a traditional structure. This is where the structure is based on hierarchy and decision making is shared throughout the business. This chart show 23.2 is an example of that. And some businesses, the metric structure are using. This is the definition we can say, where the employees are put into teams and cut across departmental roles. Cut across departmental roles, and they may work together on a specific project, designing a new product, for example. So this is a way that we are using metric structure, usually like production, designing, like construction, software industry, they're using metric structure. So usually you can see the definitions where employees are put into teams. So, and cut across different departmental role. The employee should be then multi-talented. Okay. Okay, let's go to interaction situation right now. Okay, MCQ question you can answer through the chat line. MCQ question number 1, right? So, question number 1, the route through which orders are passed down the hierarchy is called span of control, delegation, chain of command, authority. You can type the answer. Okay, I got 2 students answer here the correct answer. The answer is chain of command. The answer is correct. The route through which the answer actually orders pass on the hierarchy called chain of command. Yes, very good. One boy and one girl, right? Second one, granting workers the power to make decisions mean. Granting workers the power to make decisions mean they have been given. Okay, this time 3 students answer. Granting workers power means what? Authority, delegation, responsibility, job title. Yes. This time, yeah, out of that, out of 3, 1 student gave the correct answer. Delegation is answer. Yeah, granting workers power to make decisions is the delegation. Yes, answer is correct. Correct. B is the answer, right? That's out of 3 students, only 1 student gave the correct answer. Delegation. Granting workers power to make decisions. That is called the delegation of authority. Like you are giving some kind of authority to like granting power to make decision. Okay, you take my office, you be in charge. I'm going on vacation. From today onward, you take the in charge, right? So, right. Okay. Let's go to third question. With a flat structure, with a flatter organization structure, which is true. Flat structure, which is true. Management cost will be higher. Communication will be better because chain of command will be shorter. That is a little bit correct. The span of control will be lower. Mm, Control tend to be more formal. Yeah, this time I got 4 answers. Yeah, everyone gave the correct answer. Answer is B. Communication will be better because chain of command will be short. Very good. Huh? Everyone gave the correct answer. Right, I remember your names, right? So everyone, right, give your answers. This is the last question. Which of the following is the advantage of centralization? Advantage of centralization. Less control by senior management team. More motivated workforce. Fewer procedures may be needed, making decision making more efficient, and coordination and control is easier. They're asking advantage of centralization, advantage of keeping power. Ne? So less control by senior management team. No, that is wrong. More moderate workforce, that also wrong. Few procedures may be needed, making decisions, making more efficient. That little bit correct. Coordination and control is easier. That also correct. So most correct answer is advantage. D is the correct answer. I got answer from 4 students. Yeah. 2 students gave the correct answer. Right. Okay. Because in a advantage is a coordination control is easier. Why? It's coming from centrally. Centralized system, coordination is easy. Control is easy. Because in decentralized centralized organization, there are so many procedures to follow. Ne? Like delegation is not there. So there are so many systems to follow, making decisions more efficient. Okay, so case study, chapter review, and everything we'll discuss in another session. So you can see today, so to wrap up the lesson, mainly we talk about the important functions: delegation, hierarchy, span of control, centralization, decentralization, metric structure, right? Everything, advantage, disadvantages, really important to know these things. So these are the elements of the technical parts of the organization structure, right? So you should know everything regarding these organization structures, because that's really important.